What if I told you there's a 1966 quarter sitting in someone's change jar right now, worth hundreds of dollars, and possibly even more? Not because it's made of silver, officially, it's not. And not because it has a mint mark, because it doesn't. But because of something far more intriguing, something that's caught the attention of expert collectors and dealers across the country. This is not just another old coin. It's a 1966 quarter dollar, but with a mysterious silver-colored appearance. And those that know how to spot it are quietly pocketing serious profits, while most Americans overlook it completely. In today's video, we're going to uncover the shocking truth about this ordinary-looking coin. Why it's suddenly in demand, how a rare silver-like version slipped through the cracks, and why collectors from New York to California are now paying top dollar for the right one. Stay with me, because the next few minutes could change how you look at every quarter in your pocket. To understand the value of the 1966 quarter, we need to rewind to the turbulent 1960s, a time when the U.S. Mint was scrambling to keep coins in circulation. Silver prices were rising fast. Hoarding became rampant. And in 1965, the U.S. government made a historic decision to eliminate silver from circulating dimes and quarters. That meant the 1966 quarter, officially, was supposed to be made from a clad composition, a copper core, sandwiched between layers of nickel. It was meant to look silver but contain none of it. And to prevent coin hoarding during the transition, the mint also removed all mint marks from 1965 to 1967. So every 1966 quarter looks the same on the surface, no mint mark, nickel appearance, modern design. But here's where it gets interesting. Not all 1966 quarters are created equal. In rare cases, some of these coins appear with a bright silver-colored finish, a shade noticeably different from the typical dull gray of the standard clad quarter. At first glance, it seems impossible. These coins weren't supposed to be silver. And yet, they shimmer like they are. So what's going on? Experts believe some 1966 quarters may have been accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964, a classic mint error. Others suggest that improper alloy mixing or unique chemical reactions during storage created this unusual silver shine. Some may have even been struck on specially prepared planchets that were never meant to leave the mint. Whatever the cause, one thing is clear: these silver shade 1966 quarters are not normal. And when authenticated, they can sell for hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars. Just last year, a collector paid over $700 for a 1966 quarter with a pronounced silver finish, slabbed and graded by PCGS. Another known specimen, graded MS-67 with high luster and a brilliant silver tone, sold for nearly $1,200 at auction. And as more collectors begin searching for this anomaly, prices are only rising. But here's the challenge: spotting one in the wild isn't easy. It requires a trained eye, an understanding of toning, and most importantly, knowing what to avoid. So, how do you identify a valuable silver-shaded 1966 quarter from an ordinary one? First, look closely at the coin's edge. A regular 1966 quarter has a visible copper line running through its edge. That's the copper core of the clad coin. If your quarter lacks that copper stripe and appears silver through and through, you may be holding a rare variant or a mint error. Next, pay attention to the coin's luster. These valuable quarters often have a brighter, mirror-like appearance, far more reflective than average circulation coins. They may even tone differently, taking on a subtle gold, blue, or iridescent hue when tilted in the light. But be cautious. Don't be fooled by artificially cleaned coins or chemically altered ones. That's where professional grading services come in. If you think you found one of these silver shade quarters, your next step should be authentication through PCGS or NGC. A certified coin in a high grade is your ticket to top dollar offers from collectors and dealers alike. Now, let's talk about preservation. If you suspect you found a valuable 1966 quarter, handle it with extreme care. Avoid touching it with bare fingers. Store it in a soft flip or capsule. Even the slightest scratch can cost you hundreds. And if you're unsure about what you're seeing, consult with a local numismatic expert or reputable online community before rushing to sell, because the truth is, this market is heating up, with silver prices on the rise again, and collectors hungry for transitional errors and mint anomalies, the 1966 silver shade quarter is now seen as a long-term investment, not just a fluke. These coins represent a fleeting moment in U.S. minting history, a time of transition, confusion, and opportunity. And in the chaos, a few rare gems escaped the system. They're out there. Still hidden. Still misjudged as junk, and maybe, just maybe, one of them is in your house right now. So check your jars. Open that old drawer. Revisit the change you ignored, because what looks like a regular quarter might just be your next big payday. Across the country, collectors are digging through pocket change, old jars, and forgotten drawers searching for this mysterious coin. And here's the shocking part: many of these valuable 1993 quarters were never meant to be rare, but something went unexpectedly right, or terribly wrong. At the Denver Mint, some of these quarters don't just shine, they shimmer in a rare silver hue, catching the eyes of seasoned collectors and auction houses alike. These are not your everyday clad coins. And if you've seen one and ignored it, you may have passed up a small fortune. This is more than a story of metal and mint marks, it's a revelation. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this valuable silver-shaded quarter, why it exists, and how to secure and preserve it, before someone else does. Let's start at the beginning. The 1993 quarter dollar is part of the Washington Quarter Series, a line that began in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. For decades, these coins were struck in 90% silver, until 1965, when rising silver prices forced the U.S. Mint to switch to a copper-nickel-clad composition. So, by 1993, no Washington quarter should contain silver. Every quarter was expected to carry the standard clad look, a muted, slightly dull luster compared to the brilliance of silver. But something strange began happening. A few 1993 D quarters started surfacing with a strikingly bright silver tone. These weren't polished or artificially cleaned, they had the natural gleam, weight, and feel of something different. Collectors noticed. And they didn't forget. So what caused it? There are two leading theories. One points to a rare minting error, a planchet mix-up, where a leftover silver-colored blank, possibly from a special set or experimental batch, was accidentally used. The other theory suggests a highly unusual chemical reaction or environmental exposure that created a silver-toned surface that mimicked real silver. But here's the twist: some of these coins not only look silver, they test silver. And those are the ones commanding serious prices. In the numismatic market, visual appeal can drive value just as much as rarity. A standard 1993 D quarter in circulated condition, worth only 25 cents. But a silver-shaded 1993 D with original luster and uncirculated features. That's where the excitement begins. At recent auctions, confirmed examples of these unusual silver-tone 1993 D quarters have fetched upwards of $125 to $300. And some collectors have reported private sales nearing $700, depending on visual contrast, condition, and third-party grading. In exceptional cases, quarters with full silver luster, no visible damage, and verified mint errors have crossed the $1,000 threshold. This isn't rumor, this is recorded, traded, and very real, and yet, the coin remains elusive. No official records confirm how many slipped out of the Denver Mint. There could be just a few hundred. Or a few thousand. Either way, every passing year makes them harder to find, and more expensive to own. So now that you know what to look for, what can you do? First, inspect your change. Pull out any 1993 quarters and look closely. Does it have a bright, silver-like appearance? Is it different from others of the same year? If yes, don't clean it. Don't polish it. Immediately place it in a soft, protective holder or a non-PVC coin flip. Take it to a certified numismatic dealer or a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Authenticating this coin is the key that unlocks its full value. Next, educate yourself. Learn the feel and weight of standard quarters versus anomalies. Get a good magnifier, and study the edge of the coin. Does it lack the copper-colored core? That could be your first major clue. And finally, be patient, and be persistent. Most people won't notice a difference. But the informed collector knows. Sometimes wealth hides in plain sight, disguised as pocket change. The 1993 D silver shade quarter is more than a minting quirk, it's a symbol of how chance, rarity, and knowledge collide to create value. As silver prices rise, as collecting surges, and as more Americans turn to coins as a form of wealth preservation, this small coin could become a big player. So ask yourself this. How many 1993 quarters have you passed over without a second thought? Because the next time you hold one in your hand, it might not just be 25 cents. It might be your opportunity, and that is why the hunt begins now. Not because it's gold, not because it's ancient, but because of something far more unexpected, a mysterious silver-colored appearance that has collectors across the country scrambling to find one before it's too late. There's a rare variant of the 1995 D mint quarter dollar, and its value is surging, right now. These coins don't just look different, they are different. And if you know what to look for, you could uncover one in your own collection, or worse, let it slip through your hands for just 25 cents. This isn't a fantasy. It's happening. Dealers are quietly buying up these coins. Auctions are revealing shocking prices. And time is running out for everyday collectors to stake their claim in one of the most unexpected coin booms in recent years. So why is this particular 1995 D quarter so valuable? What makes its silver tone so desirable? And how do you spot one that could change your financial future? Let's dive deep into the story of a coin hiding in plain sight. To understand the value of this quarter, we must first go back in time. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932, originally minted to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. By 1995, it was just another familiar piece of pocket change, until something strange began to surface. Collectors started noticing specific coins from the Denver Mint, dated 1995, that looked off. They didn't have the usual golden-gray tint of copper-nickel-clad quarters. These coins had a striking silver shine, something closer to the pre-1965 90% silver coins. At first, it was thought to be a mistake. A trick of the light. Maybe just heavy polishing. But over time, the pattern became undeniable. These 1995 D quarters with a silver shade weren't accidents. They were anomalies, and anomalies, in the world of numismatics, mean one thing: opportunity. So how does this silver color form? Some of these coins were struck on planchets intended for foreign or experimental strikes, while others may have been exposed to a rare minting error involving missing layers or unusual chemical reactions. Whatever the origin, the end result is unmistakable: a quarter that looks silver, stands out visually, and captures the full attention of serious collectors. These aren't coins you'll find just anywhere. But they do still surface. And when they do, they command serious money. At recent auctions, certified high-grade 1995 D quarters with a silver tone have sold for $275, $460, and even over $900, depending on condition, luster, and authenticity. Some of the most pristine examples, graded MS66 or higher, have surpassed the $1,000 mark. That's right, a coin you thought was worth 25 cents could be worth $1,000 or more, if it has the right look and provenance, but the silver shade alone isn't enough. To truly hold value, the coin must be authenticated, graded, and preserved correctly. And this is where so many collectors make critical mistakes. First, always handle these coins with care. Use cotton gloves. Avoid rubbing or cleaning, which can destroy the coin's original luster and instantly drop its value by hundreds. Store the coin in a climate-controlled container or slabbed in a third-party grading holder from NGC or PCGS. And most importantly, get your coin evaluated by a professional who understands the significance of these silver-toned anomalies. Now, here's the twist: not all silver-colored quarters are valuable. Some are artificially cleaned or plated by hobbyists. Others are the result of chemical exposure after minting. That's why expert verification is key. A true 1995 D quarter with natural silver tone caused by mint error or planchet irregularity is rare, and its rarity is precisely why its value continues to climb. The 1995 D quarter dollar, especially those with that elusive silver shimmer, isn't just a coin. It's a story. A financial opportunity. A bridge between ordinary circulation and extraordinary value. For collectors aged 30 to 70, this is more than a hobby, it's an investment with real-world payoff, and here's the undeniable truth: as time passes, these coins will only become harder to find and more valuable. The number of known examples remains extremely limited. Demand is growing. Awareness is spreading. And with each passing year, collectors who once ignored these coins are now hunting them with surgical precision. So check your collections. Re-examine your quarter rolls. Look closely under the right lighting. That silver tone could be the difference between pocket change and a $1,000 payday, because while the world sees a coin worth 25 cents, you might be holding a treasure hiding in plain sight. The question is, will you recognize it in time? The hunt begins now. If you want to see live examples of valuable silver-shaded quarters and other rare coin alerts, subscribe now. In our next video, we reveal the one 1980s penny collectors are begging to get their hands on, and it might be in your pocket right now. Don't miss it.